This morning, a house was sold, and the homeowner completely broke down, crying. It was really heartbreaking to watch. You can see that the homeowner's hands were trembling as he signed the papers. Do you know how much money he lost on this property over the past 5 years? He purchased it in 2020 at the peak of the housing market for $180,000. Today, after negotiations, the price went down to $82,000 and the buyer refused to offer even a bit more. He said that if the seller disagreed, he would walk away. Later, when the homeowner finally decided to sell and picked up the pen to sign the contract, I saw his hands shaking. So what if we bought cars and houses? We'd just become lifelong slaves to our mortgages. China's real estate market continues to slump, with millions of families facing mortgage defaults and shrinking assets. The problem of negative equity is becoming increasingly severe. According to data from the National Financial Regulatory Administration and the People's Bank of China, 1.87 million households nationwide have failed to make mortgage payments for 3 consecutive months, meeting the criteria for default, an increase of 35.6% year over year. The housing market's winter is far from over. Even the high-end villa project Jinqiao Lingyan Yuan in Guangzhou's Panyu district hasn't been spared. Once selling for $700,000 and up per unit, some of these properties now start at just $56,000 at auction, yet still attract no buyers. This is a second-hand apartment we bought in Guangzhou for $250,000, and how much is it worth now? We bought it in 2020 right at the market peak with a $140,000 down payment. The total area is 88 square meters, which means we paid about $3,000 per square meter. Because we bought it from a friend, the situation was a bit special, so we spent a larger down payment at the time. We took out a 20-year mortgage for $107,000 with monthly payments of $560, of which $280 goes just toward interest. Our apartment was fully furnished, but the down payment completely drained all of our savings. Back then, we thought we'd live here for a few years and then upgrade to a better place. But now, after almost 5 years, we've realized that moving up to another home isn't so easy after all. The blogger said, "Today, my husband's classmate came to our neighborhood to look at apartments. The unit upstairs, which has the same layout as ours, sold for only $140,000. We've lost $110,000. At that moment, my heart just sank. People used to say, if you don't buy a house, you've wasted 10 years working. But now it's become, if you buy a house, you've wasted 10 years working. We're the most realistic example of that. When we bought our place in Guangzhou, settled our household registration, and planned to build a home here, we thought we were doing the right thing. They say if it's for your own living, you shouldn't worry about losses, but when your entire down payment is gone, it's impossible not to feel the pain." The blogger said she added that she and her husband bought their home in Zhengzhou in 2020, 5 years after graduating from college at the peak of the housing market. The property cost $350,000 and they spent another $42,000 on renovations. Now, with housing prices plunging, they've lost about $100,000 while still having to pay both their mortgage and renovation loan every month. Over the past 2 years, housing prices have kept falling. The home we bought for $350,000 is now worth only $250,000. In just a few short years, our entire down payment has evaporated. For ordinary people like us, how many years of hard work does it take to save up $100,000? Although interest rates have dropped significantly recently, we still have to pay $1,080 a month on the mortgage and another $800 on the renovation loan. My husband and I are under tremendous pressure. Even after getting married, we still don't dare have a child. Now, I use my free time after work to film and edit videos, hoping to ease a bit of our financial burden. The blogger said, a lot of people have advised us to sell the house, saying the mortgage pressure is too heavy and our quality of life is too poor for such a young couple. But right now, houses just can't sell for a good price. We bought ours at a high price, and if we were to sell it now, we'd have to take at least a 30% loss. I really can't bear to sell it. She hopes the real estate market will rebound within the next 2 years, and only then will she consider selling. However, she's not confident that the market will actually recover by then, so for now, all she can do is take things one step at a time.
州楼市已经连跌了30多个月。
Guangzhou's housing market has been falling for more than 30 consecutive months, and the scariest part is, the real crash may not have even started yet. In June, over 9,000 second-hand homes were sold in the city, yet prices are still quietly slipping. Why? Because the inventory is too large. What's even more alarming is that in the second half of the year, Guangzhou plans to sell land aggressively to make up for fiscal shortfalls, especially in core areas like Zhujiang New Town and Panzhou Financial City. With a massive wave of new properties entering the market, the situation for second-hand homes will only get worse. Many bloggers are predicting that Guangzhou's housing prices could fall not just 30%, but 50%, or even 80%. Even luxury properties won't be spared because over the next 5 years, the city center won't be short of land anymore, and the long-held myth of scarcity might finally collapse. To be honest, after selling so many houses and meeting so many homeowners, this is the first time I've ever seen a seller break down in tears like this. It's not that he couldn't accept the price, it's that he literally can't afford to sell this house. He bought it in 2021, right at the market peak, for $200,000. Considering the down payment plus 4 years of mortgage payments and interest, he still owes the bank about $155,000 on the loan. Now, the buyer's offer is only $130,000. That means if he sells, he'll still have to pay extra out of his own pocket to cover the remaining mortgage, losing his down payment, monthly payments, and interest altogether. So, really, he can't afford to sell. Honestly, unless someone is facing severe financial hardship, who would be willing to sell their own home at such a loss? So how much have we lost now that Beijing's housing prices have fallen? We bought this apartment at the end of 2023, and if we had waited for just 6 more months, we could have saved $100,000. I was distraught for a long time. Maybe that's just fate. We bought 2 homes, one in our hometown and one in Beijing, both at their market peaks. The house in our hometown, a third-tier city, was purchased in 2017 or 2018 when prices were soaring non-stop with no sign of decline. At that time, we paid $1,600 per square meter, totaling $140,000. Now prices have dropped to just a few $100s per square meter. We've never even spent a single day living there. It's a total loss. The blogger said that when she and her husband were looking at apartments in Beijing, this particular development was selling incredibly well. Phase 1 was almost sold out. The higher floors were all gone, leaving only the less desirable first and second floors, which weren't cheap either. Phase 2 was also extremely popular when it opened. Fearing they wouldn't get good units if they waited any longer, they bought quickly. However, 5 or 6 months later, the price dropped. She had a neighbor with the same apartment layout, but the price was $100,000 cheaper. She bought hers for $650,000, while her neighbor bought it for $550,000. She said, "That's fate. Everything depends on timing, location, and people. When we bought the house, my husband was on vacation, so we had the time. If he had taken his vacation 6 months later, it would have been so much better. We could have saved $100,000. Who can you complain to now?" Blogger Meow Meow said that she and her husband have been working in Yixing, Jiangsu for 15 years. They both work in a factory, earning $1,400 a month, supporting 2 children, and paying $500 a month in mortgage payments. What frustrates her is that the house they bought for $110,000 is now only worth $50,000. They are torn between continuing to pay the mortgage and simply selling it. Last year, my husband and I were unemployed for 2 months. This year, prices have dropped by another 20%. It's the off-season now, and the factory is closing every few days. Many factories in the surrounding area have also shut down. I'm really worried about losing my job again someday. My parents are urging us to return to our hometown to build our careers, so we've decided to sell our house to ease the financial burden. The house has been listed for over half a year, and while some people have viewed it, they either try to lower the price or say they need to think it over. The real estate agent suggested we ask for $50,000. Have house prices really fallen this much? A house that cost $110,000 has plummeted to $50,000. What should we do? The blogger said that she and her husband had worked hard for over 10 years, scrimping and saving, and had emptied their savings to buy this house, their only property. They've lost $80,000 in the 4 years they've lived here. How could they not be heartbroken? If they don't sell, they feel immense pressure. They've already paid $28,000 in mortgage payments over 4 years, mostly interest, and the more they think about it, the more distressed they become. But if they sell, they'll have nothing left. Their hard work over 10 years will seem like it was all for nothing. They're now hesitating. Should they continue to hold on or cut their losses sooner? What would you choose? A real estate agent blogger in Nanjing recently met with a female landlord who was preparing to sell her house. She frankly admitted that this house had caused her a loss of $280,000, and she just wanted to get rid of it as soon as possible.
Today
we're looking at Kaisai Group in Hershey South. It used to be a highly sought-after development with tens of thousands of people vying for a limited number of units. At its peak, it sold for $8,400 per square meter, but now the price has dropped to $4,200. Ugh, I'm so frustrated. This apartment has lost $280,000. At least it's a high-quality 3-bedroom with a rare layout. Plus, it's a good school district, a great location, and now has subway access. The view is fantastic. Yes, that's why it's $28,000 more expensive than other units. What's the official property area size? It's 86 square meters. Here, the price of a property dropped from $168,000 straight down to $28,000, a loss of $140,000. That's basically the price of a Mercedes S-Class gone. Oh my goodness. This is a furnished small duplex, so let's actually take a look inside. Can this place really sell for $28,000? Yes, really, $28,000, a total loss. When it was bought, the market was at a peak, so it was very expensive. How big is it? 2 floors, about 134 to 135 square meters. It's furnished so that you could move in with just a few household items. This $28,000 probably doesn't even cover the cost of the furnishings. It really doesn't. Furnishing a 100 square meter house would easily cost $28,000. You said Tianjin's housing prices have fallen so much. Why isn't anyone buying? Because everyone knows prices will keep falling. Why rush to buy now? Do they have too much money to burn? It's like asking why I'd spend $10 on a cabbage when I can buy it for $1. Nobody wants to be the sucker who buys at the peak. This blogger from Chongqing said that the house he lives in now was bought for him by his father in 2014. At that time, he was getting married and needed a place to settle down. The 7th floor in the complex was more expensive than the other floors because it could be converted into a 3-story structure. Back then, the average price in our complex was about $840 per square meter, and the 7th floor cost nearly $140,000. If you included renovation, it would be around $230,000 since it's a larger unit. But this year, a renovated 3-story unit on the 7th floor in our complex is listed for only $170,000. Oh my goodness, just thinking about it, it seems even cheaper than back in 2014. Has the housing market really fallen this drastically? I haven't been following this stuff for a long time, so it's shocking to see. There's a housing development in Zhencheng, Guangzhou, whose price plummeted from $2,800 per square meter to just $500 per square meter in less than 4 years. It's unbelievable. This development is Daishi Garden, which many people have probably heard of. It's located on Zhuncang, Zhencheng, and was initially marketed as a part of the Science and Education City area. In reality, it's about 6 or 7 kilometers from the subway, making it a truly suburban development. Back in 2018, when the housing market was booming, Daishi Garden's price soared past $2,800. Many investors rushed in, hoping to profit from property appreciation. The blogger continues, who would have thought that after 2021, more and more houses were built in the surrounding area and housing prices kept falling. Now, a 104 square meter 3-bedroom apartment in Daishi Garden has dropped from $300,000 to $83,000, a decrease of over 70%. You stock market investors always say that stock market crashes are terrible, but you haven't seen this neighborhood. It's even worse than a stock market crash. Look at the Riverview. Before, you wouldn't even dare to dream of it for less than $10,000. But now that's gone. You can get this Riverview penthouse for just $5,000. It's 235 square meters with a private elevator and private unit, and it's ready to move in right away. This development played a crucial role in driving down housing prices in Guangzhou. Located next to Guangzhou South Railway Station, its price has plummeted from $4,200 per square meter for pre-sale units to $1,120 per square meter for completed units, complete with free high-end renovations. Crucially, you can get the keys and move in on the same day you buy. Would you say the developer suddenly developed a conscience? The high-end villa project Jinqiao Lingnan Courtyard in Panyu District, Guangzhou, was once envisioned as Guangzhou Cultural and Art Village, with a planned completion date of 2022. However, the site is now overgrown with weeds, deserted, and has become a completely abandoned project. The project attracted attention when it launched in 2020. The community consists of 128 villas priced from $700,000 to $1.4 million. All were unfurnished bare-bones units. The villa project was initially scheduled for completion and handover in 2022, but construction halted due to a funding shortfall and the developer became embroiled in debt disputes. According to on-site reports from netizens, the community is now virtually deserted, with weeds spreading everywhere. Nearby villagers revealed that only 3 or 4 households occasionally come and go. The sales office was vacated as early as 2023, and security and cleaning staff left due to unpaid wages, leaving the complex completely unmanaged. Although the signs at the entrance warn no unauthorized entry, some renovated but unoccupied villas have been burglarized, with doors, windows, and furniture removed. What's even more heartbreaking are the owners who bought at high prices in 2022. They spent $1.3 million on their homes and made the down payment, only for the developer to go bankrupt and disappear, leaving the project stalled to this day, and with no handover of the properties. On foreclosure platforms, listings for units start at $56,000, yet even at such bargain prices, very few buyers are willing to take them on. That's all for today. If you enjoy our content, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe, leave a comment, and share it with a friend. We appreciate your support, and we'll see you next time.